الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أما بعد، قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد: ألا إن أولياء الله ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. I seek Allah's help so that some kalam of hidayah and we reach you without any intervention on my part. Nevertheless, it is nothing which I am going to, but there is one thing which I have noticed. For the last 23-4 years, Talib and Talibas come and they visit the spiritual centers of some very competent awliya. Awliya is plural of wali. What I recite one line from Holy Quran is Allah, mean Allah, know. Allah says, "O people, know the friends of Allah. There is no fear and grief upon them. You know, it doesn't touch them." This is one thing, a qualification of Allah's friend, Rafiq. Rafiq. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he decided to depart physically, his last words were that now I should meet the Rafiq, the Ala, the great Rafiq. Rafiq is a much deep word than wali. Rafaqa means Rafaqat in Urdu and Persian and Arabic mean companionship, though Allah has no companionship, but with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sometimes the distance and all the things are finished off when a person. But I am come to point because to prolong the whole thing, which I don't wish to, Allah knows best. Here are some blessed ladies sitting here. They must have visited the Marakaz Ruhaniya or spiritual centers, beacon of light, Noor of Allah, like the place called the Shrine of Hadrat Al-Hujweri, or the Shrine of Hadrat Miyami Qadri Rahmatullah Alayhi, which is my family Zawiya. But none of them have so far ever thought of asking me or trying to know, Ya Shaykh, after all, what they taught, what they did, what were their teachings. Understand? This is called, because I and some of sometimes you follow Bismillah me and you automatically end up following those great shuyukh. But nevertheless, you must know. If you visit a place, you must find out, after all, this blessed person whose spiritual center is functioning for the last 1,000 years, day and night, people come and go, read Holy Quran, millions of rupees are deposited there, and thousands and thousands of people eat, and girls get married, and so many things are done for the last 1,000 years. After all, what is so great about him, a simple wali of Allah, and maybe 2-3 miles around him, there are tombs of the Mughal emperors, such beautiful built, such nice built, that their tombs, the graves are embroidered with semi-precious stones, 90 names of Allah. But nobody goes there. Sometimes people say, oh, of course, there are such beautiful buildings and they attract people, so that's why people go there. That's one thing that sometimes people say. Sufis are the spirit and soul of Al-Islam. Sufis are a bridge between all the mankind. And says Al-Hujweri, who is descendant of my own family, Syed Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu and Fatima and Imam Hassan. And he was born 900 and some years ago, a Hashmi Syed. You remember when Islamic empire started spreading, Medina became absolutely vacant. You would find only children and old people in Medina Munawwara. All the young people, men and women, they left. Within 50 years, Islam was ruling from China. They were in China. They were in Russia, what they call Shishan, they called Azerbaijan, Armenia, Kabul, now they call Afghanistan, India, Egypt, Syria, Sham, Palestine, they call Canaan, you know, Far East, Indonesia, Malaysia, all these places were covered by Islam within 60 years. Ibn Battuta, you must read him if you do not know. His travelogue, which is much later on, he took 25 years to finish his tour of Islamic world. How great you are and your heritage. Oh, brothers and sisters of Islam, don't settle for less. Here is a blessed person. He is Wali of Allah. One from childhood, he spent his entire life till his last hour in service of Allah. About these such people, the Siddiqeen, Shuhada, and Awliya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Holy Quran, وَلَا تَقُولُوا لِمَنْ يُقْتِلُ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتٍ وَلَا تَقُولُوا, meaning, do not say, do not you call those who die in the way of Allah as dead, amwat, dead. Do not. Allah gives a command. Allah commands you, order you. In Surah Al-Baqarah, do not call those people who lay down their life in the way of Allah dead. بَلْ أَحْيَاءٌ وَلَكِنْ لَا تَشْعُرُونَ. They are alive, but you do not see them. You can't see them. You are not aware about their. And another Surah Allah says, they receive their rizq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Provision, they eat as well. So, Allah says that these are the people who have taken a drink of elixir of eternal life. And they are living more than us. Because this physical life is going to end up, whatever you may do. But their life has no end. Now, Allah says in the Holy Quran, التعاونوا على البر والتقوى. O mu'mineen, you must help each other in doing good and virtuous deed. But do not cooperate in doing wrong things and in sinful acts. Now, if you, and in case of any help and assistance, a ta'awan, if you ask their help, will you become a mushrik or polytheist, as the Wahhabiyah, the crazy man of Najd, says that if you call a wali or even Rasulullah sallallahu for help or for assistance, then your neck should be chopped off. Tell me, isn't against the Holy Quran? It is. They are more living than us. So Hadrat Ali Hujweri rahmatullah is the king of the awliya. It is such a station Allah has given him that his faiz, remember the word faiz or faiz, fa ya dad. His benevolence, His influence reaches all. Allah chose him to manifest His Rahmaniyah, His compassion. Allah is Rahman wa Rahim. Allah's mercy reaches all, whether a person is Christian, Jew, or Hindu. Believe me, Allah hears the supplication and prayers of all, from ant to elephant, every person. Because He is a Rabbul Alameen, Rabb of all the worlds, between heaven and earth, physical and non-physical. He is the cherisher, Rabbul. He doesn't do the word Allah Alameen, He is, but because He nurtures whatever is between heaven and earth, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, believer or non-believer. So he is, Hadrat Ali, Syed Ali Hujweri is of that category. That from the day one, when Allah decided to manifest through him His Rahmaniyah, His mercy, His benevolence, people belong to all the religions had been benefiting up to today. Let me tell you that he said that he was, his book, he wrote, he is the first scholar of Islam who wrote a book scientifically. His book is acknowledged by all. The first book written scientifically about a religion, about Kashful Israr. See, this is translated by Reynold Dickinson, an Orientalist, who has corrupted a lot, changed the senses, the meaning, and everything, because he never wanted these things. And there's another, this is well known, this is almost 1,000 years old book. You find it in many languages. But he wrote a small booklet, which is not known to many people. From our library, I have about 100 years old trained, not the original one, and that is called Kashful Israr. Kashf means unveiling of the secrets. That is the textbook. Of course, this is a textbook for all to understand, and this is another textbook, but it is very short, very brief. Ali Hujweri said that his father was also Sufi and Wali, and he said at the age of 12, a great Wali told him, "My dear son, you should write a book." He said, "Yes." He said, "Yes." At when 12 years old, he wrote a book, his first book, at 12 years old. And that was a great book. Then eventually he becomes talib of his own family members, elders, and it's a long story. When people, it is a tradition in our order that when you become a talib, then you, after receiving your guidance, you spread out. You go and spread a message. Not that you keep sitting like a farm chicken at one place all the time, whole of your life, the way most of Talibin, are roosting, like roosters in South Carolina, in, other places, in Georgia, in what you call in South and in New York. They're just sitting like roosters. They don't move. He's a young man. His Murshid, his Sheikh said, "Ali, Mahmud of Ghazna has conquered India. Now you are a Syed Ahlul Bayt, you should go there. And Lahore is the darkest city. There is 100% Hindus, and you go there. Only the Muslims who find Muslims are the soldiers of Mahmud of Ghazni in the Lahore fort. That's all." of course, before him, Syed Zanjani al-Makki, another Arab of Syed, had come. But he failed to convert many people. Anyway, he said, Ya Hadrat, I have a Pir Bhai, my Talib brother, you whom you have already sent. He said, you go? Yes, sir, I go. So he was a young man. He had completed his education in Holy Quran, fiqh, and everything. Very fluent, very handsome young man. And he just gets on in his villages in Afghanistan, in the district of Ghazna, somewhere near Ghazni. There's a locality called Al-Hujweri, So he came to Sayyid Ali Hujweri. Now, he's called Data Ganj Bakhsh. The moment you say Data Ganj Bakhsh, these Wahhabis and their minion like the Ahl al-Hadith, they will say, oh, you are mushrik, you can't call him a Data Ganj Bakhsh. Whereas Data means master. Understand? Data means master. And if you call same person, yes, Maulana, I will not say it again. Maulana means Data. Maula, master, na, our master, right? He says, Maulana, I won't do it again. He says, yes, my son. You call him Data, he will be happy. But if you call a Sheikh who never go to Saudis for begging reals or to other people, doesn't put a bag around his shoulder and go begging from Sharjah, Kuwait and Dubai. Hadrat Ali Hujweri, there is no way to understand his position which Allah has given him. It's beyond him. I tell you, I'm not going to make it his biography. One small example. I have here Lahore number, a Lahore supplement of a very famous journal, Nuqush. It has about 2,000 pages. It's here. They said, the editor said, I want you to write your personal experiences. So people wrote their personal experiences. In that journal, one very famous writer, maybe Tufail Husharpuri, or some other name I can quote you if you like. He says that he says it was 1941 or 40. He was a lawyer at that time. He says, I was a lawyer, and there was a magistrate, Hindu magistrate, and he has two sons who were also lawyers, my colleagues. During those days, Lahore was struck with the epidemic of influenza. So strong was the attack, many people died. And very few people were surviving. He said, I heard that all his three sons were attacked by influenza. So I went to see him. He said his house was next to the shrine of Hadrat Ali Hujweri. He said, but one thing very good about this Hindu was that he was the first man who put up the electric lights around the dome. And every day, or almost every day, he would go and pay respect to him. He said he went there, he saw him, the Hindu magistrate, weeping. He said, my sons are going to die. Yeah? So he said, I went back. Our third day, I said, I went. And he was very happy. His sons were all right. I said, what? He said, they're all right. I said, what happened? He said, I'll tell you, you will be interested more than I myself. He said, 2 days, when you came after that, I was weeping, and at around 2 o'clock at night, somebody wearing all white, very beautiful white beard, shining face, entered my house. And he went over the boys and started blowing over them. And he was leaving. So I ran after him. He said it was physical. I thought that some darwish, some holy man around the shrine has come. So I wasn't surprised. But he was wondering how he could come in when all the doors are closed and shut, He went after him. He said, yeah, please. He said, Kirpa, please, for mercy, tell me who you are. He said, I'm your neighbor. I couldn't see you crying. He said, I couldn't bear to see you crying. You are my neighbor. He didn't care whether the person was Hindu. This is Islam. This is the real spirit of Islam. That you must honor your neighbor. And as Syed Al-Hujweri went and healed his children, his sons. Because he was his neighbor, he didn't care. Whether he was Hindu or Muslim. So we Sufis, awliya, Allah's name, carry on the same message, same spirit. I will tell you an incident about him so that when you come next time, people go and read Holy Quran and, and he meets them. Meets most of people for the last 1,000 years meeting. So one our friend was very keen to see him. Every day he would go and read Holy Quran. I told you this incident before, right? You remember. Every day he would go and read Holy Quran. He would go on foot from, 3-4 miles and walk and then come back. 6 months passed. He could see nothing in the dream even. One day a woman came and she started crying and weeping on the woman's side. He said, oh Data, if you didn't bring my friend back who ran away from me, he promised to marry me, I'm going to kill myself here. And oh Data, you are my father, you are my this. She was weeping and crying so much. People gathered around her, what's wrong? She told the story that one man he promised to marry her, never ran away. So he saw all that, Oh. And then he was reading Holy Quran next day, the following day. Following day he saw the same woman coming with a man, and they had big cauldrons of plow and halim, and they were distributing. So he asked, what is this? They said, don't you know? He said, the same woman who came yesterday and wept and cried. And Al-Hujweri went at night, he got hold of a man and brought him over and told them to get married. She got married. And now this is the walima they are doing, distributing food as a thanksgiving. So he said, wah, Babaji, for 6 months I read Holy Quran, you never ever took the trouble of showing yourself to me, and this woman came yesterday, and now she has seen you, and that man has seen you, it means you like such people. I'm going, Assalamu alaikum. He said himself, he walked out. He just tied the Holy Quran and put it there and said, Assalamu alaikum, I won't come again here. So he was going on foot. He lived across the village river. So when he was crossing the river bridge, so he said that a storm was building up, and he heard somebody coming with amama on his face like this. He said, son, I want to go to Al-Hujweri shrine. The man said, who you are, why are you bothering me? I don't know anything about him as his shrine. He said, look here, you're coming from there and you're telling me you don't know? He was shocked. He froze there. He said, my dear son, you used to read Holy Quran every day and I liked it. I didn't want you to go away because I wanted to hear your Holy Quran. And I kept on ignoring this thing, so you keep on reading. And that woman, I never liked her to come again. So by doing what she wanted to, I got rid of her. So that's why I was not visible to you. So with this is sufficient, because this is not part of my discourse. Sometimes Allah's blessed, they are also like to see what's happening here. Acha, this is a beautiful book. It is called Kashful Israr. This is a textbook of Walayat Muhammadi, the Ishq, Ayn Sheen Qaf, the love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, only for Him. I'm not going to add anything. What I have to say, it has been said. Now I would like you to pay a visit to his real shrine, the shrine of his education, his instruction, his guidance, the book. Many of you have been going there, putting garlands around your neck and felt very elevated. This is the book. It's also called Ocean of Secrets. But the book claims, and it is, to unveil the secrets. I'm going to translate and give some commentary. It starts with, he wrote, Al-Hujweri wrote, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. All praise for him who is indifferent to everything, who doesn't need anything in the sense, who manifested our being with 4 elements in the physical world, and I glorify and I sent Durood and Salam upon the Holy Last Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, whose Ummah we are. I say, I have deliberately, I'm reading the message, his message reaching you. I say, I have deliberately written this book in brief, or I have deliberately written a brief book of instruction, because many times people get fed up of reading long books. I request the reader that if he sees something not appropriate, please correct it or just ignore it. I have, for the seekers of Allah. But who seeks Allah? Allah is within you. Allah is within you. Talib means seeker, okay? But whereas Allah says, Fi anfusakum afala tubsirun, I'm within you, don't you know? I'm near to your jugular vein. Please, this is my explanation, but I go back to his his discourse. I have written such useful things for talibs of Allah. If they act upon that, they can become the chiefs of Mashayikh, chiefs of the Sheikh, if they follow my advice. I have also written a book, Kashful Israr, with great love and care. In a very short time, I completed it. But now I am writing those books which are worth writing and remembering. And I have named this, what you call, this booklet as Kashful Israr, the opener, unveiler of the secret. In my view, this book is better than all the books and better than all the zikrs. Meaning thereby, if you read, understand, follow the advice, it is the best zikr. Subhanallah amma yatasafun, wallahu waliyul tawfiq. First of all, the section 1, I mentioned something about the Rufaqa, Rafiq, the walis of the highest order. He said those who wish to reach the highest station, those seek love of Allah, wish to annihilate themselves in Allah's love is the only medium left. He says for such people he calls them Rufaqa. It is Jama of Rafiq, mean friends. First thing he says, it is compulsory for such people that they should know that the companionship or friendship of the rulers and the government officials and the sitting and going and visiting them, is just like visiting and having companionship of the snakes and the vipers. Because when he visits such people, the change comes in his attitude, and all what he has earned with zikr and all the thing is destroyed. I have written many things about the dresses, dress for the, Sufis or Rufaqas, and I have written in detail in Kashful Mahjoob. I say this much, by keeping big, colorful, long caps, four-cornered caps, I mention myself. You cannot become a wali or a rafiq. He says how liberal. He says even if you put a cap like kafirs on your head, but you remain firm on the path, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's, this is something, because it's most difficult, because by this thing, you become indifferent to everything. With what you have on your head or what you don't have. What could be wearing, you become indifferent. You must remain loyal, obedient to Allah's will. You must remain. That you must always keep in mind the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if a Sufi or Wali dresses himself, he puts on great robes and lot of misbahs and beautiful caps, and he decks himself in such a way with intention that he may be accepted as a minister, government minister, or companion of the ruler, or government official, or the people might show him respect. Then he said, believe me, that person is not a wali. He is a worshipper of fire. He is a fire worshipper. And he's full of arrogance and stubbornness. What you call ghurur wa taqabbar. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. I finish section number 1. Section 2, about the discipline. Rafiq, I will use word of Sufi, a budding Sufi, a wali, or a talib. It is absolutely that he must always remain in the presence of his Sheikh. And he must remember his Sheikh. And a talib, when he's struck by calamities, poverty, and is traveling, that is the real, then it is, in the real sense, he starts behaving. He's like a talib of Allah. That Al-Hujweri rahmatullah alayhi says that there is a tradition that one day Rasulullah was mentioning about those people who are aspiring to be with Allah, living the world, the Rufaqa, And he was saying how one can gain knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Rasulullah, how you can gain knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So Jibreel alayhi salam came. You hear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, He's saying, Siru fil ard. Go about in the world, Siru fil ardi, fanzuru kayfa kana aqibatul mukazzabin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, answer, tell the Holy Companion, your companion, and to us and to you, go about Sir, which we call in Urdu Sar, walk, travel, fil ard, in the world, fanzuru, and see what was the end of the rejectors, of the arrogant, of the liars. Just do that, and you will know. How futile was their whole effort in life. It went in waste. He says, thus, O Hujweri, therefore, O Hujweri, go around the world, see, so that you may learn, not taking a tour to Caribbean or Holy, what do you call Honolulu? No. Go about and see how Allah has treated those who defied and rejected Him, brought lies against Him, and how Allah has favored those who loved Him and obeyed Him. You must see this thing and follow that. Leave the arguments and excuses. He said, Talib, don't bring excuses and arguments. Just do what you're being told. And if you have enough resources and strength, physical as well, then you go, first you do Hajj and bear it with hardship and steadfastness so that you may come in the realm of the reality, I, Ali Hujweri, from that role, they started going around the world, and I saw many wonders of the world. One day, in brief, I say, in one day I was Mawara Nahar, means this Oxus River, that is now the river between Afghanistan and Uzbekistan. I was near the river, I was doing my wudu near a pond. So I looked into the wudu pot. I looked into the wudu pot in which there was water, and I saw the tajalli, the beauty of my beloved. And I came to realize, of course, there's a way from heart to heart. There's a way from one heart to the heart. Therefore, he says, in order to cultivate love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, first of all, you cultivate love. Here he means you must first of all learn to love somebody, then it will be transferred to Allah. It's not easy love. You must love your murshid, he says, and sacrifice everything what you have. He says sacrifice whatever you have, and say, even my life is sacrificed, is best. Then you will see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's hand. You know how He rotates you. You become the moth of your lamp. And don't worry. What happened? What happened? Let it happen. It's better that it happens. This is section 2, I finish it. And now, you should see that what you deduce from that is Syed Ali Hujweri, Murshid Kamal, he said you must undertake journey so that you learn from various experience in traveling and also from the fate of those people who defied Allah and were eliminated. Then he says that he narrates the incident that one day he was doing wudu, and in that wudu pot, when he saw in the nur he was able to behold, his beloved. Not that in the wudu pot, it happened. The nur was coming out and he was transported and he beheld, nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He doesn't explain much and I don't wish to do that. He says if you find a sheikh, a competent sheikh in me, then don't stay back. Even if you sacrifice your life, do it. Don't make excuses, and don't keep sitting. Do it. You should become a moth, like going around a candle, a lamp, and that's the best. Now comes section 3. Take the arrogance. What do you call arrogance? We also call haughtiness, right? Gurur. Gurur or arrogance out of your system, just take it out. A talib has no right to be haughty or arrogant. If he is, then he says he is worshipper of fire, because there's fire. Now he says, when I reached India, and I found more than 1,000 years ago, not 1,000, more than 1,000 years ago, I reached India and I reached Lahore. And I found suburbs of Lahore like Jannah. So many gardens were there. I decided to stay there. And I established a school for the children. But I found that I was becoming a bit arrogant, and I stopped that. Because I want to remain humble, and I never tried again. O Talib, you must create longing for your Habib within you. Habib, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you must, O Talib, it could be a male or female, but you must behave like a male, brave, committed person, I would say. It means that, on this way. Stand up at night and do ibadah. Enlarge the hole within your wujud, mean heart. There's a way. Meaning thereby polish your heart with zikr of Allah. And weep. Because he says weep a lot. Don't feel happy. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Holy Quran, he says in the Holy Quran that they will laugh less, but they will weep a lot. You understand? Allah says about these people, who just, you find them all in laughing, opening their all 32 teeth and belly laughter, which you want to see the tape of at the shrine. How many? About 15 people braying like donkeys, they're all Muslims. And they were laughing. Allah tells about such people, laugh a little, but you will weep a lot. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala eventually made them weep for him. Allah forgave them for that sin. In the morning, go at the river, the lakes, so that you may meet Khidr alayhi salam. The Khidr is the same wali who met Musa alayhi salam. You know, he's also wali, Khidr. You remember the story? He broke the boat, killed the boy, stood the wall, and same Khidr is still, you can meet him. Morning time, you go to the river and do your zikr and talawa, you'll see him. We'll come on the river, you know. Some of my talib have seen him, met him. And whatever you have been given to do zikr, do the zikr. So that you may reach your destination, which is Allah. It is absolutely compulsory for you. You know, I'm verbatim translation. That you, it is written in Persian, the book is in Persian, you know. That you forget about your desires of your nafs. Must forget about. Avoid them. Desires of nafs, what are those? You wrote very well. You know, of having very comfortable bed, very luxurious life, you know, and eating all the time delicious foods, wanting all the time jewelry and clothes and expensive cars and watches, houses and fame, you know, importance. These are desires of nafs. He just stressed these. And you must avoid meeting people too much. Only those whom you have to see in the course of your business or profession. And you must stay alone as much as possible, I say. And if you receive some gift from somebody, then you should divide, give it away, divide it. Divide it amongst your talib brothers and sisters. And if you pass the grave of some holy person, so read Holy Quran and send the credit to him, so that he make dua for you. And if you owe somebody even up to the amount of one kernel of date, give it back. Don't keep anything which is not yours with you, or which you might have taken as a loan, you know, return it. And when the time comes that you might be given, you might be informed, you might come to know some secrets of hierarchy, of uluhiyya, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, when you start gaining knowledge of Allah, you might gain some insight in secrets. Don't reveal those. Don't reveal those secrets. Because when Mansur Hallaj revealed the secret of his friend, he had to be crucified. And his marfa in everything was of no avail, because he should not have revealed the secret. It was a big secret, which still is kept secret, you know. Simple thing was, he said, Anal Haq, I am the truth. Well, he should not have said that, because people know, other than Allah, nobody would say I am the truth. If Allah had chosen to communicate with people through him, he should not have said that. He should have controlled it, kept on going around, so people should have known that he is talking to them, you know, not haqq. So that's why he was crucified. He says there is no doubt that Khidr is friend of walis. He's friend of walis. And remember, mushahada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, beholding of Allah, and meeting of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and all these stages, baqa, is only achieved with the help of the awliya. You must acknowledge your blood relationship, don't break that. You must give utmost respect to your parents, consider them as your qibla, meaning hereby the Muslim parents, because there is no obedience in sin. He says, I have read in commentaries of Holy Quran that even if you go and bow down at the grave of your parents, it won't be sin. However, he doesn't encourage you to do that. It is extent one should pay respect to one's parents. He says, when you have any problem, go to the grave of your parents and read Holy Quran and make a dua. He says, there was very great Sufi at that time, Hasamuddin Lahori. He said, nafs is kafir. You know, nafs is kafir. Nafs has attributes, you know, arrogance, lying, greed, jealousy, hatred. These all are attributes of nafs. He said, nafs is kafir. Within you, until it will not be suppressed without the help of Al-Haq, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you must observe silence or seclusion as much as possible. Eat very little, you know, and again he repeating same thing. Eat very little, and while staying alone, keep on remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, doing zikr, tasawwur, reading Holy Quran. He has a friend, Sheikh Hasamuddin, you know, and he said when his last time came, he said, oh my life, make dua for me that I may die with Iman, leave this world with Iman. He says, as Ali is saying, I remember, when his naza, his last time hour came, I put my ear, you know, next to him. He was saying, Ya Allah, Allahumma anta rabbi wa ana abduka. Ya Allah, Allahumma anta rabbi. Ya Allah, you are my Rabb, and I am your servant. He was 80 years old, noble person. And before dying, leaving this world, I said, give me an advice. He said, oh Hujweri, all the time, keep consoling and helping and encouraging Bani Adam. He's a Bani Adam, he's a Muslim, human being. Keep doing good. And try to do such things which please most of people, you know. Don't injure anybody's heart. Don't injure anybody's heart. It's not that you can injure Kafir's heart, you know. Don't injure anybody's heart. Treat people with affection, with kindness. And do not befriend, make any friend other than Allah. The only friend is going to be your only friend, or Talib and Talba, is Allah. whatever reaches you, it is because of him. And do not waste your ilm, knowledge. If you gain knowledge, don't waste it. And consider your wealth and your children as fitna, a test and trial. He said, look here, now I'm living. These my sons are of no avail to me. Therefore, obey your parents and keep on doing good to mankind, and that kindness will be of a great use to you in the hereafter as well. If you get a good friend, it means because Allah is showing His affection through somebody to you. But always, Allah is your friend. I end this section here, and I follow the next section. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursaleen. Alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hadrat Syed Al-Hujweri rahmatullah alayhi repeats again. He repeats in this section. So it's section 4 or 5, I do not know, but we'll find out. He again repeats that you must stay with your Sheikh and keep on, in his presence, so that you may find the reality and tariqah. He says, hear and pay attention. He says, I finished my kalam and I am starting the next one. Listen and pay attention. These things will be of great use to you. And remember, even if you are a commander-in-chief, so what? You are just a handful of dust. You are a drop of a stinking water. Why are you so arrogant? What you will get from this world? Maybe a few yards of shroud? Even Allah knows whether you will get that or not. He starts this section. He says, "O Talibs, ponder and try to understand. Leave arrogance. And become steadfast in this path of love. And don't go to ungodlies, nor let them come to you. Wealth is of no use. Wealth is something which is kind of a punishment for you. If you have it, spend it on those people who are hungry, thirsty, naked, who need. Sacrifice it upon them. Otherwise, it will turn, the same wealth will turn into worms in your grave. Allah will turn the same wealth, gold and silver, He will turn them into snakes and scorpions in the grave. And if you will give it, keep on giving, sharing people your wealth, then it will be your friend. Very well, will become your friend. Don't you know your hands and your feet are your enemies? Don't you know your hands and your feet are enemy? When you will die, your feet will say, testify against you, saying, why did you went to the wrong place? And your hand will say, why did you touch things belonging to other people? Your eyes will say, why do you look at with bad intentions? Therefore, knowing this, don't aspire or desire for anything. And keep seeking forgiveness for your sins. And give due utmost respect to your teacher. Show mercy upon the mankind. Don't eat unlawful food. And don't go and step in such a place where you will be dishonored. Whosoever shows respect, go there. I give the explanation on this. Again and again he says, because Holy Prophet said, as long there is arrogance, ghurur, this amount of like a rice seed within you, you will not be able to enter Jannah. So, first thing is you must become humble. If you see people amongst you walking like machos, and showing arrogance, haughtiness, so tell them, this is the way of the fire worshippers, not of the Sufis and Rufaqa. And don't forget these hands, these feet, these eyes. That's why we keep these eyes busy on sabr, on beholding the visualization of Allah's name. You keep it glued there. Keep your eyes lower when you go out. That's why we tell you don't watch TV. You understand? Eyes is vision, interest of Allah, nur of Allah. I come back again. He says one holy person has said, it is very famous, it is printed in the cards and calendars, what he said. 10 things, actually he himself said that, but it's so, he says one holy person said, but he himself said. 10 things, eat up 10 things. 10 things, eat up 10 things. Tawbah eats away all the sins. Tawbah. Lying takes away the risk, the provision. Lying cuts down your provisions. Backbiting, namima, mean when you transport somebody's, conversation to other person, right, in a malicious manner, that is called namima. That takes away your deeds. Grief, gham. Grief, gham, it cuts down your life. Sadaqah, which you give for sake of Allah, feed the poor, saying sadaqah, Ya Allah, give the sadaqah, and make it an obstruction between calamities between me and him. He says sadaqah takes away the calamities, destruction. Give sadaqah. If you want to save from the trouble, then give sadaqah. And anger takes away the intelligence. Anger takes away intelligence. And resentment takes away generosity. Arrogance, haughtiness, takabbur, takes away knowledge, intelligence. Virtuousness, noble deeds take away evil things. Take away the evil deeds, mitigates it. And oppression, zulm, takes the justice. When zulm is being committed, justice dies. I tell these things to all the talibs. He says that. He says that because he said that. But he's saying that somebody has said. So that they follow upon these and make a dua in my favor and remember me. And he must, or he or she must recognize Allah and don't have any hope upon ungodly. Therefore, it is most essential, he came time and again, for a talib, and I say taliba, to get rid of arrogance and what else was word? Another word is haughtiness, right? And what do you call? Self-liking. What's the word in English? People who like themselves too much. Any word, ladies and gentlemen? Huh? Who are obsessed by themselves, you know. Self-obsession. And those words which I have mentioned in this book, you must follow them and do the zikr. He says, Luqman Hakim. Luqman was an African messenger of Allah, and some say he was a wise man, Luqman. He said that I served 400 messengers. I'm quoting Al-Hujweri. And I learned 8,000 words from them, and I kept only 8 from them, and by acting upon them, one really comes to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those are those. When you are making salat, keep your heart in your control. Allah Ta'ala says this in Surah Al-Mu'minun, that when they make salat, they do it with khashiyah. Khashiyat in Farsi or Urdu. You must forget about everything. First thing is, you must make salat fully attentive, concentration before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For talibs, never leave Jamaat. Of course, under normal circumstances, but otherwise don't leave Jamaat. Make salat with Jamaat, not compulsory for the talibas. And also it means don't leave your Jamaat as well, your own Jamaat, don't leave it. Third is when you go to visit somebody's home, guard your eyes. Now what do you understand by guarding eyes is, don't start looking like this, you know, what is this, what is that. Don't start asking unnecessary questions, and there's no need for you to look around too much. Just generally keep your eyes low, even good. There's no need for you to, you know, pay too much attention to all these things, what is here, what is there. Don't do that. Don't do it. It's not done. I mean, I know about one very competent sheikh, and he said to his talib, give me the book. He said, sir, where's the book? He said, it's lying up the shelf. He said, sir, I have never raised my vision. He said, the last 10 years you're with me, you never raised, you know, sir. I never looked up like this. These are things, you know, for the talibs while they are being under training. This is when you go to somebody's house, not in your house, you know, you might say, no, you visit somebody's house. Fourth is, when you visit people, safeguard your tongue. Say that you don't say things which are not good. Keep your heart, you know, before the tongue. Think before you say anything. Not your heart behind the tongue. Fifth, never forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Always remember, what is? وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. He is with you where you are. وَاللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ بَصِيرٌ. And indeed, of course, He sees what you are doing. Remember that. Never forget Allah wherever you are. Sixth, never forget mouth. I go I don't care about death. There's no such in death in our vocabulary. Mouth. You transfer from here to next word so that you should be prepared, that you will be examined, you will be judged. Seventh, whatever good you do for somebody, forget about that. Don't keep on rubbing in a person. Oh, I did that, I did that, I did that, you know. Eighth, if somebody harms you, I mean, amongst your brotherhood, sisterhood, you know, forget about that. Oh, my brother, he says, remember these things. Because whole of my life I had been following these things. I heard my father telling me that I was born in Al-Hujweri. May Allah save my father. May Allah save the place from the destruction and save it from the oppressing king. I saw a lot in Al-Hujweri, in that, place. And if I write them, the pen will weep with the black tears. There was one very old Sheikh. He said, "Oli, in this age, prepare a book, write a book, which should become a thing to remember for you." I said, "Ya Sheikh." He said, "Whosoever knows, he may not know." Then he says, "I was 12 years old at that, in the city of Hujweri. I wrote a book and gave it to him. He read the book and said, 'You will be a wali of Allah.' I said, 'Sir, it is your kindness.' I remember the following advice he gave me. He said, 'People must love their beloved. People must love their beloved.' Who is beloved? He said the real Mashuk, beloved is Allah, but one should cultivate, first loving somebody so that he must know how to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the one who is with Allah. The one upon whom Allah has sent favors. And you must love the walis of Allah. He said, my teacher, Ustad Sheikh Abul Qasim, Ustad Abul Qasim, Junaid, from whom I got knowledge, ilm. He said, for a talib, he must visualize the appearance of his Sheikh, the someone of Sheikh. Because nothing is greater than that which will help him in transference to, next stage. It is absolutely compulsory for a talib that he must, if he wants to become seeker of Allah, remember or visualize appearance, face of his murshid, and must consider him present, hazir or nazir. The competent Sheikh, murshid, is the one who in his muraqabah reach his talib. For talib, it's compulsory that he should do bayah when he really finds himself competent to do that. Because it's a very difficult way. You know, if he's not competent, if he doesn't have the will, if he thinks that he cannot put so much hard work, that he cannot do so much sacrifice, that he cannot, remain hungry, he cannot go in seclusion, and he cannot do all the things, because first thing is to subjugation of one nafs. And if he is not prepared to do that, or think he cannot do that, then he should not become talib. Because with this, he will spoil himself and also cause damage to the Sheikh. He said that I decided to take journey to see the world, so that also do the zikr, because the zikr, the rest of the heart is removed. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Ladies, if you are doing the packing, you can start the packing, Here is this, that until you do not know to love somebody, you cannot love Allah. Understand? You must prove it is called your love and your loyalty, your dedication, your commitment, your sacrifice for your Sheikh. If you succeed in that, then you will be automatically admitted in the higher level of, reaching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what it meant. A Sheikh is used as a bridge between Allah and a talib. And the first thing is, the talib must learn to obey and give every imaginable sacrifice to the Sheikh. He says, the next division, next section, he makes it, he says, "O my beloved Sheikh, make dua before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that Allah may light up the lamp in my heart and bless me with His remembrance and empty my heart with ungodly things and make my murshid love me and grant me thanking the power or competency of thanking Him, and then later on bestow upon me the wealth, spiritual wealth, and purify me from the avarice, impurity, and then from Him, Ya Allah, grant me the patience and steadfastness. And then, if you give me sickness, Ya Allah, then grant me so that I may be healed of all the diseases. And grant me those things which are noble and excellent. And give me the competence of those things, that I do those things which you like. Ya Allah, Ameen. He says, the seeker, the beginner, must not listen to music in any form. He should not, he or she should go near it. Stay away from that. This is a very difficult and complicated path. In this, there is always danger of downfall. Again he says, remain in seclusion. From Allah, ask companionship of a competent Sheikh. And you must become a crazy person for your Sheikh, like a Majnoon. And, oh, true lover, listen. I am reminded of the words of my friend, who used to tell me, oh friend, he said, if Allah shows mercy to me, I would go in the forest and remember Him, and will never be involved, engaged in anything other than Allah's zikr. I said, I like that to friends should be around me and we should be together, but we keep saving ourselves from the bad thing. He says, whenever, whatever is possible, but remember to stay with some competent sheikh or competent person. Allah Ta'ala is Hakim and Alim and Aziz and Shafiq. Hakim, wise, knower, all-powerful and affectionate. His love is for everybody. He is benevolent and he is merciful and he is most compassionate. He is forgiver. He is also, Jabbar and Qahhar, one who also has rigor and Jalal, and Wahab, the bestower, and Sultan, the king, and Hannan, and the one who reached the sinners. My petition is unto him, Ya Allah. At the time of martyrdom, don't close the doors. Grant me paradise and grant me my beloved, that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. You understand? Allah is my beloved. Allah is my goal. And Ya Allah, don't give me torment and sickness and disease. You are sufficient for me. I like that I may stay in seclusion, and other than beholding the face, countenance of the beloved, I see no one. Ya Ali, Ali, the people call you Ganj Baksh. Even in his lifetime, people call him Ganj Baksh. Ganj means treasure, Baksh, bestower of treasure, Whereas you have not a single grain. But don't be proud of that, because it is kind of pride. Ganj Baksh and Raj Baksh, Allah is. Allah is Ganj Baksh and Raj Baksh. He is the bestower of treasure and bestower of grief. He is none like him. Don't commit shirk and always take him wahdahu la sharik. I go to the next section. You understand? Again he is saying that other than Allah, don't become anybody's seeker, but you need a sheikh. Next section, he says, "O my Talib, this word, like a boat on the water, you must become a diver, thereby getting into secrets," which he means. Not that a sinker. You should not sink along with the boat. You must be a swimmer. Understand? So that you are saved from the word, from the evil schemes, temptation of the world, meaning thereby don't yield. Do such thing that it reaches people, goodness reaches people, and don't cause grief to anybody's, don't injure anybody's heart. And like protector of a deen, like a king protecting the deen, you should fight the aggression and zulm and oppression. And don't become unmindful. Consider this word debased and of no consequence. You must become seeker of the hereafter. Even you must take it out of your system, after. You become Talib of Mawla. He's He's raising your standard. In the first section, he's telling you basic thing, then another thing, now he's coming. First you find a sheikh, fall in love with him, visualize face, countenance, and seek his help to reach. And he say, Talib of Mawla, you must become Talib of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that you become steadfast, leave greed, and love for unworldly things. Worldly intelligence and scheme, keep them away from you. And use your faith, intelligence based on your faith. Use that to understand Allah. Consider your murshid as your qibla. Stay with him. And don't fatten your nafs. He says, follow my advice. O Ali, don't take it lightly. Don't take it justly. You are full of nur. Manifested on the Mount Tur. Stay away from the shaitan. Now you are like a nur in the world. Turn yourself into dust so that you may become worthy of being virtuous inheritor. O Ali, you have traveled a lot, but you could not was able to keep away two cursed ones. That is shaitan and nafs, It seems you have not seen anything. Become dust so that you see the inner realities. Ya Ali, you are a wonderful person. He is talking to himself, You are as if you are Yusuf Canaan. You are as if you are life of the world. You are now nose inward and outward. What have you gained knowledge-wise? Why have you kept away your enemies away from you? I want you, in your heart, you raise a palace for ibadah. Haven't you heard? Amarat, the palaces are commerce, and they are raised with the bricks of the zikr of Allah. Ya Ali, you are a wise adult and Allah's wali, sahib of taj and throne. You are like tree full of fruit. You must get rid of your being high and related to the king and the minister. Forget about that. Because, Ya Ali, you are a king. And don't seek support from the sun. As long as you are consistent and steadfast on the path, you are like a tiger. So be careful. Ya Ali, turn yourself to dust so that you may succeed. He knew his station. You understand? He's revealing his own greatness. He said, Ya Ali, you are a high sun and high skies. No, on the contrary, the one who has sun. He was and is son of Allah's mercy. You understand? Be happy. But yet he says, turn yourself to dust so that you are blessed with the most beautiful countenance, Ya Ali, there are people with shining and pearl-like faces around you. You stay in your city and don't see disgrace. Ya Ali, don't show greed and avarice like an old woman. Always be happy with Allah's destiny. And in His memory, remain full of fragrance. Adopt steadfastness, sabr. And don't become too sure of Allah's fadl and karam, His benevolence and His generous. Don't become too much sure of that. Don't reveal Allah's secret and don't make your salat qaza, because you are a kamil amal and carrier of the great burden. You are, of course, the one who would like to be hard on your. I finished this section. These are things which he is revealing about himself, which he did not reveal in this book. In his own, Allah has raised him so much, you know. But yet he says, whatever I am, I must remain like a dust. Nowhere. He is reminding himself, you know, that Allah gives him a high station. He says, this should not go to his head. Next section. Oh my Talib, you are part of my heart. Like they call in Persian Urdu, liver. Because actually your thoughts affect your liver, not the heart. They leave the dark, you know, black marks. He say, oh my Talib, oh my part of my heart, act upon the following thing. Ya Ali, why you make so many things? Do your work. Haven't you heard from the experienced people? Cut away the relationship from ungodly and become one with Allah. And don't seek anyone other than that, other than Him. Don't seek anyone other than Allah. Me, he says, Ali bin Osman, I have very strange tales of pain and mystery. I loved no one other than my beloved. And though I knew nothing except beholding him, I have no zikr other than his name. Allah, 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 Allah. Sometime I gaze at his face which captivates even the moon. The moon goes crazy, beholding his face. Sometime I behold his cheeks. Sometime I pick up the dust of his feet and make it kohol in my eyes. Sometime I make his dust of footprint like butter. Sometime I sacrifice pearls upon his teeth. Sometime I enlighten my opinion with his contemplation. Whole night I keep on remembering him, you know, and whole day I sacrifice everything. He said that one day He was so much overpowered, I tore my clothes. I am sinner. Fakir who lost his heart in remembering Allah and His Messenger. And other than his ishq, I never involved myself in anything. I consider this world as a laboratory. I consider this world as a laboratory. And I never taken as a place of rest and luxury. Before I end this section, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam one day was going around Medina Munawwara. He was with a stick in his hand like this. He said, he passed near a dung hill. What do you call it? Trash. Big place with trash, a dung hill. He said, is there anybody who would like to take this dead body of a goat, the head, stinking? No. Everybody said no. We don't eat haram, we don't eat stinking thing. He said that in the eyes of Allah, the worldly wealth and everything is a million times worse than this. So don't yield before the worldly temptation and worldly desires and worldly luxury things. You understand? If you hear this message, it reaches you after 1,000 years. You say, I consider this world like a lavatory. Sometimes I go and sit in the heavens. Sometimes I in the earth. I make myself dust. This is what he says about his going up and all the time. So I say I hate. I go up to the heavens and stay there, then I come down, Oh my talib, don't lose heart. In the next section. Next section. I start that. He says, oh my talib, don't lose heart. Spend your life in remembering him. Spend your life in remembering Haqq. Be hard upon you. Work hard so that you become steadfast. Remain alone, meaning thereby with Allah, for Allah is best thing. And it is the best provision. And before Murshid, going there and staying with him, never ignore that. You must visit the tombs of the holy people and say Fatiha and make dua for them. Go and visit often. Put your hand on their heads, because it is the best fard, obligation. Make salat with jamaat and make wudu with your heart. He said he had compiled a kalam, a full compiled book, that is lost. Somebody stole it, And only few verses are left with us. Shauq tu dar roz shab daram dila is Persian, all that. Ishq tu daram bepenha wamala. Jan khahum dadaman dar kuwe tu gar mara azar ayat yabala. Ishq tu daram meane jaan o dil. Meed hum az ishq tu har so salah. Ya Khudawan azr ki baavne raabush, ya mara da yaade kun mast bala, jam man darad sharabe yar khud, mehraban kun barman wahum mubtala. Ay chusakir tu agar khahum laqa, gar tu aari wa bukun hargiz tola. Ay Ali tu farki dar shahre koi, wah ishke kheshtan haso salah. This is only surviving cloud. Rest is stolen, somebody using it in his name. He says, after that I write, always glorify Allah all the time. Because there's no one other than Him, our supporter, our help, and hearer of our petition and prayer. O my Talib, I and both we are strangers in this world. Make dua with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He may show mercy and benediction upon us and bless us with the competency of His remembrance. I'm a poor traveler person. My hidden and apparent is same. I always remember my beloved. O my Talib, I have seen a lot in the world. From Allah, ask for noble children, noble pious daughters and sons. And if you can stay, preserve yourself alone without wife, then remain without wife. Because it's a very big responsibility. It's a very big responsibility and a big test and trial for the travelers. In Lahore, I've seen with my own eyes and heard with my own ear. There was one Karimullah, a merchant. He had so much wealth in his house. The gold was like grain in his hand. He had a son whose name was Mubarik. But thieves took away all his gold. He didn't care about that. Then next time they took his money and gold, he kept quiet. And eventually he was totally deprived of his everything. And he just was left with nothing. And he left and became a beggar. We put his son with the teacher. He held the beard of a teacher and hit him. The teacher cursed him, and he just became useless, a vagabond. He got married, and his wife used to sell hand grinding machine for corn. He died poor. Therefore, he says, you can't depend upon wealth. If you love Allah and Allah is with you, then you are actually king. You need nothing. But you think, he says, I'm explaining, by holding wealth you can become happy or anything, it is not possible. He says, had a man had a adopted way of retreat and seclusion, he would not have suffered so much. But his destiny was such, Allah Ta'ala does whatever he likes. There's no one who can say anything. He is the Lord, and whatever he does, we accept it. Ya Allah, have mercy upon the, weakness of Ali, and for sake of your most beloved messenger, forgive Ali. Have mercy upon him, because he is a very weak, and he has no friend save you, Ya Allah. And he remembers and does zikr of nobody save yours. And he doesn't know anything other than being a poor. Ya Allah, he says, have mercy upon me, upon my being, of not being able to do anything. You are Rahim, you are Alim, you are Shafiq. And is a dua for everybody, and I'm drowned in the ocean of sin. Ya Allah, forgive me and grant me Jannah so that I may stay happy in there. And I don't want anybody other than you there. Even his Jannah is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nor, I have anybody. Nor without you, I have. O Talib, you must become Talib of Haqq. Don't be afraid of miseries. This way is very difficult. Seek knowledge. seek knowledge, learn it, act upon it, and indeed consider your parents as Qibla. And with that you will reach your destination. Inshallah you will become, an important person. Allah Ta'ala's Fazl Karam will be with you. Ya Allah, cover my faults and don't debase me. Ameen. O Talib, every day I behold my beloved. Understand? When I look at his blessed countenance, then the verses escape from my tongue. All those what I've written, the poems, have been written in that state of beholding him. But those have been lost, O Basir, beholder, O Basir, Ya Allah, have mercy upon me, because I have no planning. You are the Qadir, Ya Allah, you are the one who does everything. Wahdahu, 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 la sharika lah. La sharika lahu, la sharika lahu. Oh my Talib, whatever Allah grants you, be happy with that. Whatever Allah gives you, be happy with that. If He gives you wood and forest, live in that. If He sends you to live in the woods and forest, live there. If He give you some township or some city in which to live, stay there. If He give you country, then stay in the country. If He send you abroad, stay there. Whereas whatever Allah gives you, remain happy. And if He give you a patched frock, wear it. If He give you a donkey to ride, ride it. If He give you a horse, ride it. Don't leave it. Whatever He gives, take it with happiness and pleasure, and remain patient. Oh, and whatever you may not receive, don't grieve upon that. Don't think about that. So that you become, steadfast on the way. So that you be with your Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sabr, steadfastness, is a strange thing. Hadith, Rasulullah said, As-sabru miftahul farah. The sabr, patience, is the key of happiness. He says, adopt sabr, and become a bold, courageous, traveler on the path, so that, meaning don't bow down before other thing, so that Allah may show His kindness upon you and forgive you. Oh, those who are listening to this book, or reader of this book, if you read my book, then make dua before Allah for me. Now I leave you, and I say, Al-Wida, goodbye. Or to Allah, I hand over you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that you remain happy. But don't be angry on what all have said. What I have said, I have because it is a duty upon us to deliver the message. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَى الْبَلَاغِ. Our duty is to deliver the message. But your duty is to follow it, act upon it. Make a dua for me, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this book or direction of mine popular, and be kind and forgive my sin. Whatever is, he end this with Persian, Makun Ali, Besh Azi Guftagu ke Marde Khudai, Wapaki Khu, Harache Dari, Sawab Azab, Khuda, Dan, Ara, Hamaba Sawab. Make dua, subhanahu wa ta'ala, recite Fatiha, Auzubillah, Bismillah, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin, Rahman, Rahim, Maliki, Yawmiddin, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu as-samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad, wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له Ya Rabbi Zal Jalal wal Ikram, we receive this nema, this blessing, this nur of guidance, Ya Rabbi Zal Jalal wal Ikram, from you. And Ya Allah, raise the station, raise, giving more and more high station to our great teacher, whose manifestation of your mercy and ilm, Syed Al-Hujweri, Rahmatullah alayh. And what we have, few surahs we recited, Fatiha and Ikhlas, send the credit and the nur to his blessed Ruh and his son. And help us, Ya Allah, for sake of your Rasul and for sake of your beloved Muhammad Sallallahu and Syed Al-Hujweri, give us strength, because we have no strength to suppress our nafs and drive away the shaitan. Ya Allah, so that we may follow the path which leads from here to you, Ya Rabbi Zal Jalal wal Ikram. Have mercy upon us, upon our Jamaat, upon all those whom this noble treasure of nur and guidance reach after 1,000 years. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلق